Okay, today we're going to start solving equations. So this is section 2.5. Today we're just going to do addition and subtraction. The next section will be multiplication and division. This is the basis of Algebra 1. When you get into Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, you're going to do a ton of these. So this is just to kind of get us started. We're going to do these kind of throughout the year. So you really got to understand this. So you really need to think to start. I put this little scale here, a picture of this scale, and because I want you to imagine that. Okay, we need to think of our equations as a scale, with the middle being the equal sign. Okay, if we had something that was, if we had 5 pounds on this side and 5 pounds on this side. Okay, those are equal. Well, if we add 3 to one side, we also have to add 3 to the other. And then they're still equal. So what we do to one side, we have to do the other. If we subtracted 3 from one side, we'd have to subtract 3 from the other. Okay, that is the key to solving equations. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. All right, so as we move on, we'll do some examples, if I can bring it up. Okay, solve the equation for the missing variable. I know that most of the people in this class can look at this x and know what needs to go in there. You have to solve it this way. Okay, this is one of the things I'm very firm on, because I promise you these numbers will get bigger and harder, and you have to know how to do it. Do not do this in your head. You can do it in your head to check, but you have to do it. You have to show your work. If you don't do it exactly how I do it, that's one thing, but you have to show your work. So basically we're trying to figure out what is x in this to make this equation true, like we learned before, to make it a true equation. So we have x plus 6 equals 4. Okay, so since we have a plus 6 here, what we're solving for is x. Okay, so we want to get x all by itself. It's called isolating the variable. We want to isolate it. We want to get that x all by itself. So if we have x plus 6, we want to do the opposite. Since it's plus 6, we want to subtract 6. Okay, and the reason why we want to subtract is we want this to go away. Well, if you have 6 and then you subtract 6, you end up with 0. And x plus 0 is just x. Right? But what we do to one side, we have to do to the other side of the equal sign. So on this side we subtracted 6, on this side we have to subtract 6. So over here we're left with x. You can write plus 0 if you want, but those just cancel out. So we have x equals, and this is 4 minus 6. So remember, in our rules, that's the same as 4 plus a negative 6. So we have different signs. We really subtract and take the sign of the larger number. So you're going to get x equals negative 2. Okay? Now you might have known just by looking up here that it was negative 2. Well, that's how you can check it. Plug it back in. Is negative 2 plus 6, is that equal to 4? Yes, it's true. You do not have to do this on every problem. That's just an easy way to check. Okay? So moving on, we have x plus 8 equals 3. Okay? Since it's plus 8, we're going to subtract 8. We haven't changed the value because what we did to one side, the equal sign, we did to the other. Sometimes people like to put a line through here. You can do that as well. Those become 0. X equals, and this is the same thing as over here, 3 plus a negative 8, so your sign is going to be negative and you're really subtracting, so x equals negative 5. Okay, moving on. Sometimes they're going to write it, it might not be in the exact same order where the x is first. You still do the same thing. If you want to rewrite it, you can. You could do d plus 1 equals 5 if you would like. It does not matter. I'm going to keep it like this to show you. You just take it to the other side. Since this is d plus 1, we're going to subtract 1. Okay, and you can do your lines again if you want. A lot of people like that to keep it straight. So we're left over here with just the d. The plus 1 minus 1 is going to give you 0. 5 minus 1 gives you 4. So d equals 4. As we come over here, okay, this one is a little different because the variable isn't first. So when you look at this, it doesn't really matter what this says in front of the R. It matters what's in front of the 58. Is the 58 positive or negative? It's positive, so we're going to do the opposite. Remember, you want to get rid of that. If this is a minus right here, that's a totally different problem we'll deal with later. Okay? Minus 58. Oops, I didn't need to put that equal sign in there, but that's okay. So R equals, and since this is one is positive and one is negative, it's just 130 minus 58. So you just, what is that? 10, 12, 82. Is that right? Nope. Wait, 5, 8, 9, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, 72. See? Even I mess up sometimes. You guys have seen it a lot. Okay, so 72. See, I went back and checked. I added 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, and then 13. There you go. So 72, and it's going to be positive because the 130 is positive. Okay? So, moving on. Okay, so these are just more examples. We can just talk through them if you want, or you can pause it and try them yourself. So here, these are subtraction ones. So actually, we haven't gone over these yet. So b minus 12 equals negative 49. So since this is b minus 12, or b plus a negative 12, remember that? B plus a negative 12. So that 12 is negative, then you're going to add 12. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Okay, so b equals, and so again, we have a negative and a positive. Okay, so you're going to actually subtract, take the sign of the larger absolute value, so it's going to be negative 987, so negative 37. Make sure that's right. Yep, should be right. Okay, so moving over here, it's y minus 5, so we're going to we're going to add 5, since it's a subtraction. Subtraction and negatives are interchangeable. You can call them whatever you want. Okay, so that becomes 0. Y equals 8 plus 5, so 13. There you go. Okay. We didn't change the value because we're adding 5 to both sides. We haven't changed anything. It's just like that balance, or the scale. Okay, so coming over here again, we have x minus 14 on this side. We're wanting to isolate the variable, so you always go to the side where the variable is, because that's what you're solving for. That's what you want it to be by itself. And it's x minus 14, so you're going to add 14. What you do to one side, you do to the other. I think I like the when it goes up and down. So then this is just 98 plus 14. All right, so this becomes 0 over here. X equals, what is that? 8, 12, 9, 10, 11. Yep, okay, I was double checking, sorry. I don't always trust myself. Okay, so yes, because 4, okay. So there's that. Now this one, it could be written like this. T plus a negative 3. That is the same, remember, as T minus 3 equals 8. Either way you look at it, okay? So you look at what's in front. This one has a negative. This one, you can call it a minus. Doesn't matter. You're still going to add 3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. This becomes 0. T equals 11. There you go. Okay, I do want to write one over here that's not in here yet. If we had something where it was, I'm just going to make one up, 50 equals negative 10 plus T. Okay, so again, we look at what's in front of the 10. Okay, because eventually we'll get to where this is a minus as well. Okay, so then you add 10. Because you want your t to be positive over here. Okay, so 50 plus 10 is 60 equals t. Okay, all right, moving on. I think we just have one more. Oops, I gotta turn it on. There we go. So this is a word problem, of course. Your friend's Blu-ray player costs $328, less than her TV. So her Blu-ray player costs $328 less than her TV. Her Blu-ray costs $179. How much does her TV cost? Now I know in your head I've already solved this problem, but it says write, it should say and, write an equation, then solve. Okay, so you have to write an equation. Okay, that means, and it has to be in the correct order, meaning the variable and a number needs to be on one side and a number needs to be on the other. So your friend's Blu-ray player costs $328 less than her TV, and the TV is what we're trying to find out. So TV, we're going to say, we'll just use V. Okay, so we want to know how much the TV is, and we're going to subtract what was it, $328, and that is going to give us our $179 answer. Okay, so this is your equation. If you write if you add these, if you do 179 plus 328 equals V, that is not the correct equation. Okay, that is how you're going to solve it, but I want you to work on making equations like this. Okay, where the variable and a number's on one side and another number's on the other. Because then we have to solve it. So we're going to add 328. Whoop! I might run out of room here. Okay, and so we have to add these up. So they're both positive. It's no big deal. 9 and 8 is 17. 7, 8, 10. 507. Is that correct? Let's make sure. 9 and 8 is 17. 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5. So $507 is how much is what? That's how much her TV cost. Okay, and I know that a lot of you knew right away, well, I just add these together. That can help you come up with the equation because you know you're going to do the opposite. So if you know at the end you're going to add, then you know you're going to have to start with a subtraction problem over here.